Kennedy is in dreamland. He'd never competed indoors.
When an Australian sprinter proved everyone wrong, no one saw him coming. No one gave him a chance. But when the gun went off, Lachlan Kennedy turned doubt into shock and silence into awe. It's a moment that's still buzzing in the world of athletics. Picture this, the 2025 World Indoor Athletics Championship. The stadium is packed with a buzzing crowd, and everyone ignores Lachlan Kennedy, who emerged as a 21-year-old Australian sprinter ready to take on the established competitors. A moment like this was bound to make history. But before we dive into how Kennedy stunned the world, let's set the stage. The 2025 World Indoor Championships had been, let's say, a bit of a disappointment for some. Sprint fans were especially critical of the men's 60-meter event. Why? Well, half of the world's top sprinters weren't even there. The usual faces, Olympic champions, the big names, had their eyes on other things. Some were off training for the summer, others were focused on NCAA competitions, and a few just flat out avoided the event.
Curley and Simbine coming through to his left, just beyond him as we saw the pictures. It was incredibly tight. I don't want to call it. It might well have been Simbine.
And so, the World Indoors started with a strange mix of unknowns and a few big names who showed up. The favorites? There was Akani Simbine from South Africa, a 31-year-old veteran who had seen 3 Olympic finals. Ronnie Baker from the United States was also in the mix, a man who had just hit his stride in 2025. And of course, the United Kingdom's Jeremiah Azu, the European champion, who was riding high on confidence. Everyone expected these guys to dominate.
Number 3 all time with his 640 from a few years ago, just behind Christian Coleman. No, away cleanly. Lightning quick start from Askowitz and Larson. But here comes Ronnie Baker.
But the real story? Lachlan Kennedy. Most people did not even give him a second thought. The official odds did not even consider him a threat. The critics called his previous times fake or slow and dismissed them as incomparable to indoor records. Honestly, no one expected this young Aussie to be a real contender. His Australian 60-meter outdoor record was impressive, sure, but indoors, that was a different beast. And then, the prelims began. Hold on to your hats.
Jeremiah Azu, Great Britain 6. Rohan Watson, Jamaica in 7. Julian Ford, Barbados, nearest the camera in lane 8.
Away first time then, it's a good start from Robinson. He's pulled up, Simbine going through, and Deng is going to go through to the next round as well. What a shame for Andrew.
First off, let's talk about what happened in the heats. South Africa's Akani Simbine, everyone's favorite, powered through his heat with an easy win in 6.57 seconds. No surprises there, right? But things got interesting in Heat 4, where a newcomer from Puerto Rico, Eloy Bonitez, burned up the track with a shocking 6.49 seconds, a time far better than anything he had ever run. It was like a diamond appearing under pressure.
Really competitive, these 60-meter races. The Puerto Rican, Benitez, has gone well. Oh, Benitez from Al Belushi, and I think Nishioka.
Then in Heat 7, we finally saw Kennedy in action. This was the moment people were waiting for. You could feel the tension building. The commentators did not know what to make of it. Here was this young sprinter, barely on the radar, facing off against some of the best in the world.
An Australian sprinting talent, there's a lot of attention on Gout, and there should be, why not? But Kennedy showing that at the moment he's the one at the global level.
No one's talking about Kennedy.
Kennedy did not disappoint. He exploded out of the blocks and never looked back. A time of 6.52 seconds in his first ever indoor race? That was a statement, a big one. He ran like a man who knew exactly where he was going, even if the rest of the world was not paying attention. The commentators were stunned. Wait, was that Kennedy? Did he just do that? And suddenly the whispers began. People started to take notice. Maybe, just maybe, Kennedy has a shot here.
Azu was late to rise, and he's quickly up into his running, but not away from the rest of the field. Now Azu pulls away. Azu.
Fast forward to the semifinals. It's time to see who's really in the running for the gold. And guess what? Kennedy was not backing down. In semifinal 1, Azu showed his strength, improving on his heat time with a smooth 6.47 seconds. He looked in control, exuding that veteran confidence. But then it was Kennedy's turn again. He was up against Ronnie Baker, the favorite on paper, but Kennedy was not intimidated. They too took off, but Baker was just a bit quicker, finishing with 6.52 seconds, while Kennedy clocked 6.54 seconds. It wasn't quite as fast as his heat, but it was clear Kennedy was legit. His time of 6.43 seconds earlier had catapulted him to the 10th fastest time ever. This was no fluke. He was here to play. Even though his times were solid, there was this feeling that Kennedy might be running out of gas. His performance from heat to semi was not as sharp as before. Was he peaking too early? Was the pressure getting to him? People started to wonder, could he hold up in the final?
The arena explodes into noise, and there's a great start there from Azu on the left. But on the far side, oh my word, I think it's Lachlan Kennedy.
And then came the final, the big one. It was anybody's race. Azu, Baker, Benitez, Kennedy, each of them had a case for the win. But there was still one question on everyone's mind. Could the Australian kid take down the big guns?
The Australian was storming through in lane 2. Azu on the near side. It was very, very close between them. It was so close.
The final started, and it was chaos from the get-go. Azu got off to a strong start, showing why he was the favorite. But Kennedy was not far behind. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. It was a battle between the seasoned pros and this young sprinter who had defied all odds. By the time they reached the final meters, it was neck and neck. Azu had the edge, but Kennedy was not giving up. He dug deep, fighting for every inch. In the end, Azu crossed the line first, winning the gold with a 6.4 3-second finish. But Kennedy? He finished just behind him, barely a whisker away from the title. Kennedy did not win the gold, but he proved everyone wrong. The critics, doubters, and official betting odds had dismissed him, but there he stood, facing the world's top athletes. Lachlan Kennedy didn't just make a name for himself at the 2025 World Indoor Championships. He made a statement. This young sprinter had come out of nowhere and pushed the sport's heavyweights to their limits. People doubted his time, potential, and even his place at the championship. But in the end, those same people had to eat their words. The championship was not just about who won, it was about breaking expectations. Kennedy's athletic journey demonstrated his athletic ability while showing the unexpected thrill that characterizes sports competition. Athletics tends to focus on numbers and records. Yet heart combined with passion and sheer determination can sometimes be the decisive elements in competition. Kennedy made a lasting impression on track and field, even though he failed to win the gold medal. His story was one of defying expectations, showing up when everyone else counted him out, and proving that the clock does not lie. He may not have the title, but he has something even more valuable: respect. What lies ahead for Kennedy? Well, if there's one thing we know for sure, he is just getting started. The 2025 World Indoor Championships proved that he has the chops to compete with the best, and this is just the beginning of what is bound to be a stellar career. Lachlan Kennedy might not have taken home the gold this time. Still, he certainly took home something just as important: the admiration and respect of the entire sprinting world. As for the doubters, well, they've been silenced for now. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more underdog moments. Think Kennedy's the real deal? Let us know below.